Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. The energy around this league just shifted. And if you blink, you might have missed the moment when whispers suddenly started sounding like thunder. People inside front offices are talking. Fans are connecting dots. And the idea that once felt impossible is now being treated as something that simply happened. The Eagles and the Titans, two franchises that usually move in silence, are now linked by a move that feels bold, risky, and strangely inevitable. Jeffrey Simmons, a name that commands respect in every defensive meeting room, is now being spoken about as if he already belongs in Philadelphia green. This feels less like a clean announcement and more like a storm of rumors colliding, where ROSEMAN is once again painted as the architect who never sleeps. The narrative growing right now is that this was not a panic move, but a calculated strike. The kind that changes how opponents game plan. Fans are reacting with disbelief. Analysts are rewatching tape. And the league is buzzing because a defensive tackle of this caliber does not simply change teams without shaking foundations. This is the kind of rumor that spreads because it makes too much sense to ignore. When you dig deeper into why this move feels real, you start hearing about timing, windows, and philosophies aligning at the perfect moment. The Eagles have always believed that dominance starts in the trenches, and adding a force like Simmons fits that identity almost perfectly. People close to the situation suggest that conversations had been happening quietly, long before anyone dared to mention them publicly. The Titans, known for valuing toughness and loyalty, suddenly appear willing to listen, perhaps recognizing a shift in their own direction. Meanwhile, ROSEMAN's reputation as a master negotiator is once again at the center of the story. Around the league, executives are said to be shaking their heads. Not because the move is reckless, but because it is so on brand. Simmons is not just a big body. He is a disruptor, someone offenses must account for on every snap. The rumor mill suggests that Philadelphia saw an opportunity to add controlled chaos to an already aggressive defense, and they did not hesitate. What makes this situation even more fascinating is how Simmons himself fits into the larger narrative of star defenders redefining their value. Coming from Mississippi State, carrying that reputation of raw power mixed with refined technique, he has always been viewed as a cornerstone type of player. The idea that the Titans would let go of such a presence has fueled speculation about internal evaluations and future plans for the Eagles. This rumored acquisition feels like a statement to the rest of the conference, a message that complacency is not an option. Insiders talk about how Simmons' leadership and intensity could elevate everyone around him, turning a strong defensive line into something truly feared. This is not just about sacks or tackles. It is about tone, about attitude, about forcing opponents to abandon comfort. The chatter suggests that Philadelphia believes this kind of presence is what separates good teams from legendary ones. Whether officially acknowledged or not, the belief is spreading fast. Fans have taken this rumor and turned it into a full-blown conversation about legacy and ambition. In Philadelphia, expectations are never small, and adding a name like Simmons only feeds that hunger. Supporters are imagining him collapsing pockets, freeing edge rushers, and making life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. At the same time, Titans fans are trying to process what this could mean, searching for logic behind a decision that feels emotional as much as strategic. The speculation swirling suggests that this was not a simple trade discussion, but a complex exchange of visions. ROSEMAN is portrayed as someone who saw a rare opening, while Tennessee is framed as a franchise making a difficult but calculated choice. The rumor tone is important here because nothing about this feels ordinary. It feels like one of those moves that people will talk about years from now, asking who really won and how the league failed to see it coming as the story grows. So does the sense that this move reflects a broader trend in how teams value interior defensive pressure? Simmons represents the modern defensive tackle, powerful enough to dominate against the run, yet explosive enough to wreck passing plays before they develop. The Eagles have always chased versatility, and this rumored deal seems to underline that obsession. Analysts are already speculating about scheme adjustments, imagining how Simmons could be unleashed in creative ways. The Titans, on the other hand, are rumored to be recalibrating, perhaps betting on flexibility and future assets rather than holding onto a single star. This contrast in philosophies is what makes the rumor so compelling. It is not just about a player changing uniforms. It is about two organizations crossing paths at very different points in their journeys. What keeps people glued to this story is the feeling that this is classic ROSEMAN theater, the kind of move that comes out of nowhere and immediately resets expectations around the league. Coaches are said to be quietly groaning at the thought of preparing for an Eagles defense that now features Simmons anchoring the middle. The rumor has taken on a life of its own because it touches on fear, respect, and competitive pride. Even without official fanfare, the belief is that this is happening, that the chess pieces are already moving. The Eagles are once again being painted as relentless, always hunting for the next advantage. Whether whispered in hallways or debated on screens, the message is clear. Something big just shifted. As this rumor continues to spread, the conversation naturally turns toward how this move could redefine identities on both sides for the Eagles. Bringing in Simmons is being framed as doubling down on a philosophy that has delivered success before. The idea is that pressure up the middle breaks offenses faster than anything else, and Simmons embodies that truth. People are speculating about how his presence could simplify life for linebackers and defensive backs, allowing the entire unit to play faster and more aggressively. The Titans, meanwhile, are rumored to be embracing a different chapter, one that prioritizes balance and long-term flexibility. This is not being described as surrender, but as evolution. In this light, the trade feels less shocking and more like a calculated gamble for both franchises. The rumor suggests that both sides believe they are ahead of the curve, even if the rest of the league is still catching up to the logic behind it. There is also a human element driving this speculation, because players like Simmons are more than just stats on a sheet. Teammates and coaches have often spoken about his work ethic and intensity, qualities that resonate deeply in a city like Philadelphia. The idea of him feeding off the crowd, channeling that energy into every snap, is fueling excitement and anxiety in equal measure. Titans supporters are left wondering how the locker room absorbs such a change, while Eagles fans are dreaming about the psychological edge this could create. Rumors hint that Simmons himself was intrigued by the possibility of a new challenge, of testing his impact in a different environment. This narrative adds another layer to the story, making it feel personal rather than purely transactional. From a strategic standpoint, the speculation is relentless. Analysts are debating how offensive coordinators might respond, whether double teams become mandatory, and how that opens opportunities elsewhere on the field. The Eagles are rumored to see Simmons as a multiplier, someone whose presence amplifies everyone around him. This is why the move feels so significant, because it suggests a clear vision rather than a random splash. On the Titan side, the chatter revolves around opportunity, about younger players stepping into bigger roles and the freedom that comes with reshaping a roster. The rumor mill paints this as a rare moment where both teams believe they are gaining something essential, even if it looks unbalanced from the outside. The cultural impact of this rumored trade cannot be ignored either. Philadelphia is a city that thrives on toughness and accountability, and Simmons fits that narrative seamlessly. The Titans, known for their own brand of physical football, are now rumored to be redefining what toughness looks like in a changing league. This clash of identities makes the story compelling, because it goes beyond wins and losses. It becomes about direction, about what each organization wants to represent. Fans on both sides are passionately defending their perspectives, turning speculation into heated debate. That intensity is exactly what keeps this rumor alive, because it taps into pride as much as performance. Another angle gaining traction is how this move reinforces ROSEMAN's image as an executive willing to take bold swings around the league. His name is once again being mentioned, with a mix of admiration and frustration. The rumor suggests that other teams had interest, but Philadelphia moved with urgency and conviction. This reinforces the idea that the Eagles are never content with standing still. For the Titans, the narrative is more complex, portraying a front office confident enough to make an unpopular decision if it aligns with their vision. This contrast fuels endless discussion, with every fan base projecting their own hopes and fears onto the situation. In the end, what makes this story resonate is not just the player involved, but the ripple effect it creates across the league. A move like this forces everyone to reassess assumptions, to question who is truly aggressive and who is simply reacting. The rumor feels alive because it challenges comfort zones and invites imagination. Whether this becomes a defining chapter or a debated gamble, the conversation itself is already shaping perceptions. For now, the belief is strong, the speculation relentless, and the sense that something monumental has just unfolded refuses to fade. FlyEaglesFly News. Family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. The unfolding saga of Jalen Hurts has created a perfect storm of speculation, analysis, and fan engagement, highlighting the intricate interplay between player ambition, team dynamics, and public perception. Rumors suggest that every franchise in need of a quarterback is closely monitoring the situation, weighing the strategic and financial implications of pursuing a player of his caliber. Analysts have been dissecting every aspect of his career, from collegiate achievements to professional milestones, attempting to predict how his unique skill set might mesh with different offensive systems. Fans continue to debate the possibilities online, imagining scenarios that range from transformative trades to unexpected surprises, with social media serving as both a sounding board and a magnifying glass for every whisper, leak, or hint. Even casual observers are drawn into the discussion, captivated by the tension, uncertainty, and high stakes inherent in a potential move of this magnitude. Meanwhile, the Eagles organization faces the dual challenge of maintaining team morale while navigating an evolving rumor landscape, balancing loyalty, strategy, and public perception. In the end, Hurts' possible departure is more than a sports story. It has become a cultural event, a narrative of ambition, risk, and the unpredictable drama that makes professional football endlessly compelling. As the story develops, one thing becomes clear: Jalen Hurts' future is no longer a simple matter of contracts or statistics, but a complex narrative involving ambition, opportunity, and strategic calculation. Rumors continue to swirl, with insiders, analysts, and fans attempting to piece together the clues that could reveal his next move. Each new tidbit adds layers to the speculation, prompting further analysis of potential destinations, offensive strategies, and the broader implications for the NFL. The anticipation has generated a level of excitement rarely seen outside championship games, transforming ordinary discussions into debates about leadership, team culture, and the evolution of professional football. Whether Hurts ultimately stays in Philadelphia or pursues opportunities elsewhere, the narrative surrounding him is already shaping perceptions of teams, rivalries, and league dynamics. Fans continue to monitor every development with keen interest, dissecting interviews, social media posts, and insider reports for any sign of resolution. The saga exemplifies the drama, intrigue, and unpredictability of the NFL, showcasing how the ambitions of a single player can ignite a chain reaction that captivates a nation, challenges organizational strategies, and redefines the storylines of professional football for years to come. Finally, the crescendo of rumors has reached a point where speculation has become almost a spectacle in itself, dominating social media, podcasts, and sports talk shows. Every new hint is dissected, every insider comment magnified, and fans are creating detailed projections of what the Eagles' offense might look like. With McLaurin as a centerpiece, analysts are crafting intricate theories about defensive adjustments, quarterback chemistry, and the ripple effects on team dynamics, while fans eagerly discuss potential highlight reel plays, clutch performances, and game-changing moments. The narrative has grown beyond a simple player acquisition, becoming a saga that blends career trajectory, tactical evolution, financial strategy, and league-wide implications. Even without official confirmation, the buzz has created an almost cinematic sense of anticipation, suggesting that the eventual announcement, if it comes, will be more than a transaction. It will be a statement about ambition, strategy, and the evolving landscape of the NFL. The speculation alone has transformed the offseason narrative, with Terry McLaurin's rumored move to the Eagles serving as a catalyst for endless debate, fantasy projections, and dreams of a revitalized franchise poised for impact at the highest level. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.